Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Traveling Young, and as you can see I am all here by myself, and that's because today we're going to talk about my 5 top reasons why it's pretty hard to learn Danish as an adult. And before we get in, I thought I'd explain a little bit why I'm by myself. Part of the reason is because Maya is just off on another planet. She has been doing Danish school since she came here. She is actually really quite fluent. She can speak and understand Danish pretty fluently. So she's kind of on a different trajectory, and she's learned Danish in a completely different way. On the other side, we have Josh, and Josh is a little bit behind me. He's taken some breaks from learning Danish, and also he's really not a natural language learner, which isn't a problem. Not everybody is a natural language learner, but I am what is considered a natural language learner, so languages have always come really easy to me, and I also benefit from the fact that I am what's called a mimic. And mimics are able to mimic accents and pick up pronunciations really easily and quickly. And so when we do speak and when we do learn foreign languages, we tend to sound very fluent far before we are fluent in our understanding. So it helps me with the pronunciation, but it is a bit of a barrier when it gets to being actually to the point of actually understanding what people are saying to me when I'm talking. So today, let's find out what those top 5 reasons why it's a bit hard for adults to learn Danish in Denmark. Coming in at number 5 is one of my most frustrating things, and that is the UNDERTEKSTER. UNDERTEKSTER, or closed captioning, is actually really important for language learners because it helps us associate the written words with what is being spoken. That is really, really important, especially in Danish, because the written language really doesn't match what is being spoken. And the problem that I run into with UNDERTEKSTER is twofold. Either the UNDERTEKSTER is there is UNDERTEKSTER available, but it is not available in the language that I need. So a lot of times it's not available in English. Sometimes it is. Sometimes I get lucky and we do have that for Danish movies, but a lot of times it's one of the foreign languages, and sometimes it's not even available in Danish. I can't even get the UNDERTEKSTER in Danish. And that makes it really challenging because at this point, I still kind of need that association with what is being said and how it is written, which gets me to my second point. Sometimes, actually a lot of times, the UNDERTEKSTER does not match what is being said. And for me, that is really, really distracting and makes it really hard for me to follow along, because if I'm trying to listen and kind of match up what's coming up on the screen with what is being said, and then what comes up on the screen just completely does not match, then that makes it really hard. And I oftentimes either just turn off the UNDERTEKSTER and try to struggle through and try to understand, which in some ways is good, but it still makes it really hard, or I just don't even watch that program. So it does put up a bit of a barrier for me to learning. Coming in at number 4 is abbreviations. You guys kill me with the abbreviations. And there's really 2 kinds of abbreviations. There's abbreviations where we see where entire words are just shortened with an apostrophe. So you might see a word like "lighty," and it's just cut in half with an apostrophe. And one of my good friends, bless her heart, she's been one of my close friends since I moved here, and every year on my birthday she sends me this long birthday greeting, and it's basically like 10 Danish words that are all connected with an abbreviation. And now I know what it says, but the first time she sent that to me, I had absolutely no clue what that meant. I didn't have enough knowledge of Danish to even understand what all of those words were even shortened from, so that made it really challenging. But the other ones that we also see are, of course, like in letters you see MVH. I've seen the BL.A, which is blended enden, which is like, you know, among other things. OSV is kind of also among other things. I saw OSV today and I had to ask my friend, I was like, what does OSV mean? And she said it basically just means etc. And the challenge is that when we see abbreviations, we don't know what that stands for, and neither does Google Translate. Like a lot of times Google Translate's just like, you just put in garbage into me and I have no idea what to tell you what this is. So we have no frame of reference for understanding what those abbreviations are. So it makes it really challenging, because then we come up upon a word and it could stand for 3 or 4 words, and we have no context to understand what it means and no way to find out what it means. So that's when we have to turn to our friendly Dane and be like, what is this? We have no idea what the context of this is. Number 3 is pronunciation. This is obvious. I mean, everybody, you know, we actually get this a lot, that pronunciation is hard. I think most Danes know that pronunciation of the Danish language is really hard for a lot of people. For me, it's hard because in class, my Danish teacher speaks very slowly. She's, you know, really great at speaking slowly. She's really great at describing things in words that she knows that we know. But when you're out in the field, when you're out with kind of live Danes, it gets really hard because you've got kind of the Jysk accent. You've got other accents, the Jysk accent being the most known accent. And that makes it hard because people are just pronouncing things different ways. They're often, you know, maybe even using different words than you hear on Sjælland. And so that makes it hard. A lot of people speak so fast. We had a friend stay over the other night, which was great, and he put up with me for about 30 minutes speaking Danish to him, and we did great. You know, he was very helpful, and we actually both understood what we were saying, so that was a really positive milestone for myself. I was very excited and very proud of myself. But when he first came in, we were kind of getting our morning coffee, and he asked me, did you sleep well? And I think it was, how do you have en godt sov? But he said it really fast, and he's from Jutland. And it, to me, sounded like, har du ha sofa? That's like what my brain registered it as. And I looked at him and I was just like, yeah, no, I don't, can you say that really slow again? So it just makes it so challenging when you get out into the field and people are speaking with accents and they're speaking really fast, and it makes it really intimidating because right off the bat you have no idea what they've said, and so then it's super easy to retreat back into English. And another reason why pronunciation is really hard is kind of going back to that UNDERTEKSTER, where the written language does not match the spoken language. That really has to do a lot with the history of the Danish language. I'm a language nerd. I minored in English when I was in college, and I studied a lot about the history of the English language. I love etymology. If you're a nerd, etymology is the study of where words actually came from. How did words actually evolve? And it's a really cool field of study. It's something that I've been interested in for a long time. And so, you know, if you go back to the Danish language, it was an oral language. It was not written. You know, you had runes. It did not, you know, have letters the way that English does. And when the Latin alphabet did come to the Nordics, they just kind of jammed the Latin alphabet into this Danish oral language, and it just doesn't match up. They did the best that they could, but it just doesn't match up. And it still doesn't match up today. And so you see people kind of cutting off the ends of words, and people, you know, like, it's just the way the Danish language is. It's just, they did their best and it just doesn't match up. So it makes it really, really hard to learn the pronunciation because there's nothing to match it up to. Coming in at number 2 is going to be a little bit of a surprise. It's the pace of language classes. I take language classes through the commune. Now you can go to any number of Danish language schools here in Sjælland, and there's I'm sure numerous numbers of schools on Jutland to learn Danish. Now I'm going to specific ones that are through the commune. These are ones that are provided to us basically for free through our tax dollars to be able to learn Danish. And most of the people who are in class with me are like me. They're here for work visas, so it's not something that's necessarily required of us. It's something that we want to do. So it's a bit different than people who are coming on family reunification, where you're required to learn Danish. This is just something that we're doing because we want to learn Danish so that we can work with Danish businesses and really kind of integrate more but while we're here on a work visa. But these classes are so fast-paced. It is just lightning speed. And you know, for somebody like me who is a natural language learner, that can be okay. You know, it's fast-paced even for me. I can mostly keep up. There's sometimes when I, you know, really need to work a little bit harder on things and it gets, you know, tough. But it's really hard for, you know, unfortunately people like Josh who are not natural language learners, that it just doesn't really work well for them. People who need that kind of extra support because they're just going a million miles an hour. And so they blow through, you know, they're like blowing through grammar and, you know, pronunciation and all these different subjects. And there's, they're doing the best that they can. We're doing the best that we can. But that doesn't change the fact that, you know, we all have full-time jobs. We've all got kids. We're all doing all these extra things. And on top of that, trying to learn a very difficult second language. So the pace of the language classes can really make it challenging. And coming in at number 1 on my top 5 reasons why it's hard to learn Danish in Denmark is, of course, that everybody already speaks English. Danes always that we meet are always apologizing for their English. I promise you, your English is great. It's 1,000 times better than my Danish. Don't ever apologize for your English. You know, you guys have the benefit of learning it at a much earlier age. So by the time you get to be our age, your English is great. But it just becomes a barrier for us because I really want to speak Danish and I want to have the confidence of speaking Danish. But it is so easy to fall into that crutch of speaking in English because a lot of times Danes, and it's to be nice, it's to be kind, it's to have mercy on us because you know your language can be challenging. You just say, you know, I see you're challenging. Do you want to speak in English? It's so easy for us to be like, please God, yes, let's speak in English. I need to get past that. I need to advocate more for myself and say, no, today I'm gonna, jeg skal tale dansk. And just push myself to get back past that because it is really scary. It's really scary to put yourself out there and, you know, speak a language that you don't know as an adult. And really kind of make yourself look like a bit of a fool. But you have to do it and I have to do it. And that's, you know, it's just a challenge that everybody speaks such good English, you know, that we have to then say, nope, we're going to do it in Danish and you're going to put up with my terrible Danish. So, but that's my list. Those are my top 5 reasons. I'm really excited to be on this path. I've actually never been conversational in a foreign language before, so I'm really excited to kind of being at that point where I can have conversations with people and I can understand what they're saying back to me. I can get past, you know, just being able to say the basic tourist kind of please, thank you, where's the bathroom things. It's great to be able to have conversations with people in Danish. So I'm towards the end of the year, I'm hoping to take my PD3 exam. It's the exam that I need to take in order to get permanent residency. If I don't take it then, I'll take it in the spring. It really kind of depends on, you know, when I'm allowed to take it. But yeah, really looking forward to it. And someday we'll speak Danish. But as always, thank you for watching. Hopefully this gives you some insight on what it's like for us learning Danish. We do speak Danish. So if you want to see us speaking Danish, we'll link below. Maya and I actually did a video in the past where we did speak Danish. So if you want to hear me speaking Danish with Maya, you can click the link below and see that video. So we'll see you next time. Bye.